Hey everyone, it's Baby. Welcome back to my channel. I'm back in another video, and we are back with another TikTok reaction. And this creator is basically tackling an issue that I have been trying to explain to people my entire life, which is the notion that you have people who think that being blunt and being honest equivalates to being mean and rude about it. And I have been trying to explain to people the difference for the longest time, and I feel like she is going to tackle this way better than I did, because I could not get it through to people. Or honestly, I feel like people like that, they don't want to get it, they don't want to understand, they just want to be mean. So yeah, I watched the first couple seconds of it, but I didn't watch the whole thing because I wanted to save it for YouTube. But yeah, I cannot wait to get into this video, because no, this is literally an issue that I have had with so many people who they've made it their entire personality basically to say things in the most harsh and offensive way, and they act as if there isn't any other way to communicate how they feel, and they feel as though if they don't say it, or they feel like if they say it in a nice way, then that's them sugarcoating it, which I'm just like, again, I don't know why people are so against being, nice and gentle nowadays. But even if, which again, I don't agree with the fact that, because you can be stern and you can be serious with someone, and you can be blunt without being mean. I don't know why people think the two have to correlate. Now, yes, there are some instances where you can be direct with someone and they take it offensively, even though you didn't come at them in that way. I agree with that. Like, yeah, that can happen. But I've seen time and time again people just being unnecessarily rude, whether it's with what they say or their tone, how they speak to people. Like, I'm sorry, you yelling at somebody is not being like, yes, you being blunt, but it's also just you being mean and disrespectful, and you don't have to speak to someone like that just to get your point across. And I hate when people make that, again, into their whole entire personality. And with the sugarcoating thing, it's like, even if that was a form of sugarcoating the truth, to me it's just like, if you are having a heart-to-heart with a friend and you're having to tell them something about themselves, or just something that they need to hear, why not say it in a way that they're going to receive it? I don't get the whole, like, no, I have to say it to you this way for you to get it. If they don't receive information in that way, then why would you even want to talk to them like that in the first place? And why would you want to hurt someone's feelings? If you know that the way that you talk to someone genuinely hurts their feelings and it knocks down their spirit, why would you even want to do that? You know what I mean? But anyway, I'm gonna let her get into it.
A lot of people pride themselves on being blunt, and yeah, I just say whatever I want to say. Can't nobody control my mouth. Yeah, I'm like this. What I be hearing when y'all be saying that is, my parents raised me without manners.
Yep.
My parents didn't teach me to have respect.
And I literally just talked about this, about people don't have manners anymore. They don't have manners. They don't have common courtesy. They don't take into account anyone else's feelings or emotions when saying things and doing things. And it's so sad.
I don't have emotional intelligence, and I don't understand how what I say affects other people. I was raised without empathy. That's what I be hearing.
Yeah.
When y'all be saying it. Y'all swear, oh, I ain't lie, I told the truth. Yeah, you told the truth, but you still wrong. You can tell the truth and be wrong at the same time.
Come on.
For one, it's a time and a place for everything. For two, there's a heart posture.
Thank you. No, because that's the other part of it too. People will literally choose the worst time ever to want to address something. Like, and this is, kind of what I talked about before. I don't know if I talked about it on camera, but this is low-key how I've been feeling. And so for me, right, it's like, if I'm going through something and, I'm having a whole, like, emotional breakdown and I'm going through it mentally, that's not the time for you to be telling me everything I'm doing wrong and, like, putting that negativity out there. Like, yeah, it may be certain things that I need to hear, but not right then. Like, if I'm sitting there having a mental breakdown, I'm going through it. Like, I don't know. To me, it's common sense that if someone is not in a good mental state, that you don't want to add to that. And if anything, they're gonna want comfort, and they're gonna want someone to pick them up and to be there for them. You can call it coddling or whatever, but again, if it's someone that you actually care about and they are struggling so bad, it could be they're struggling in school, struggling with work. That's the time for you to be there and support them and comfort them. Not tell them, why they got themselves in that situation, or like that's not an I told you so moment. That's not a moment to be like, oh well, maybe if you did this or maybe if you did that, and oh well, you just gotta suck it up and deal with it. Like, that's not what that person needs to hear. And people will say like, oh well, that's just me, I'm just telling the truth, I'm just being blunt. But it's like, you're not helping. And it's like, again, it's not to say that what you're saying is wrong, but like she said, it's just the wrong timing. Like, you can save all of that for later. And I can't tell you how many times I've had to tell people that, of like, listen, I understand your perspective, I understand your viewpoint, but can you save it for later when I'm not like crying and on the floor? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, save that for later. I don't want to hear that right now. I'm already going through things. I'm already not okay. Whatever tough love or tough advice that you have for me, you can save that for when I'm in a better mental space to receive it. Because right now, with you doing that in my most vulnerable moments, it just feels like you're kicking me while I'm down, and I don't appreciate that.
that you should have before telling the truth. A lot of y'all be wrong because y'all intentions behind telling the truth be wrong. A lot
Yeah.
of times it's not like, oh, I'm telling you this because I genuinely want you to be better, and I see the light that God put in you, and I'm concerned for you, and I want you to be X Y Z. That's not why y'all telling the truth. Y'all telling the truth because y'all lack humility. Like I said, y'all lack respect. And then also, y'all be having low self esteem, and you feel better about yourself when everybody in a room is laughing at another person because of your jokes. That's why you talk how you talk. A lot of
And see, I dealt with a lot of this in high school as well. Like, people finding joy in trying to put me down, telling me how, I'm just like, people who like all they acknowledge is the negatives, and like telling me what I'm not doing and what I haven't accomplished, and just basically trying to emphasize those insecurities that I already have. And I felt like in a way that made them feel better, to put me down and to make me feel worse about myself, instead of uplifting me and telling me, hey, like, you got this, or I see these things in you, or like, I didn't really get a whole lot of that encouragement. If anything, it was the opposite of people just gaslighting me, and telling me what I can't accomplish, or telling me what I can't have, or telling me what I'm not, or what I don't have enough of. It was like a lot of that, and I feel like it was to make themselves feel better. And thankfully, I don't talk to those people anymore. But yeah, it is a lot of that.
y'all talk to people any kind of way because your parents talk to you any kind of way. That's the gag. I remember in high school, this boy took some money and
See?
threw it all over
High
this
school.
girl in the hallway, basically telling her to go get new clothes or something. And he may say, "Oh, I gave her money. I gave her money," but in reality, you embarrassed her. You didn't.
Right. And see, that's what I'm saying. It's the lack of self-awareness. Him giving her that money and saying, "Oh, you need to go get some new clothes." Again, y'all don't have any tact. Did you tell her the truth? I mean, I guess. I mean, it's your truth. It doesn't have to be her truth. Maybe she's okay with the clothes that she's wearing. Um, but also, there's a way to go about it. Like, for instance, if you see someone that, let's say they've worn the same shirt, same jeans for 2 weeks straight, right? You might come to the conclusion that, they may not be financially stable at home to where they can afford a decent variety of clothes, right? But instead of him just expressing that, or just, again, giving her the money and being like, hey, like, or even if you want to set it up in a way where it's like a birthday or Christmas gift type situation where it doesn't seem so obvious, that you're just like, hey, I wanted to give you some money, treat yourself to a shopping spree. Like, there's a way to go about it. But him saying like, oh, you need some new clothes, you're putting her down and you're embarrassing her. And I feel like, but that's the way people go about, you know, telling people how they feel about them. They feel like they have to say it in such an offensive way to make the person feel bad. And it's just like, again, there is a way to do things with tact and empathy, but a lot of people lack both of those things.
Do that because you felt like, yo, you got the body shape for this and this and that. I'm gonna give you some money so you can come back to school and stunt on everybody because people be coming crazy at you, and I want to make sure you get right. That's not why you gave that girl that money.
Right.
You gave that girl that money to puff yourself up and make yourself look like, yeah, I got it, and yeah. Like, that's why you did that. A lot of y'all be wrong for y'all intentions. Not because of the action, but the intentions behind it. I'm not even going to lie to y'all. I have to hold myself accountable.
Because I will say, too, because she's right about the intentions. Now, I do believe that, again, with the people in my life now, I do believe that for the most part, they do want what's best for me. And they do want me to thrive and to achieve certain things, right? And so I don't really take a lot of what they say as they're trying to make me feel bad. But I'd be lying if I said, again, people constantly telling me, you know, I'm not doing enough, or I should be doing this and I should be doing that. It does start to get into my head a little bit of like, well, damn, am I doing enough? And I literally found myself doing that a couple of times recently, where just, and through me having conversations with people, them saying, I mean, well, you know, like, I could tell someone I put in 50 applications and they'll say, well, you should have put in 100. Like, it feels like nothing I do is seen as enough to other people, because everyone else is always like, well, you could have been doing more. And then I find myself stressing myself out and putting myself in a funk because I'm constantly feeling like I'm not doing enough, and then I get burnt out and worn out. And, you know, like I talked about in, you know, one of my most recent videos, is like I feel unmotivated because it feels like everything I'm doing is not enough in comparison to the next person. And I try not to compare myself too much, but again, it's hard when you have social media. But two, when you have people in your circle that are like, hey, well, this person does this and this person does that, so why can't you do that? And it's like, I don't know, it's very disheartening when, you know, you're dealing with all that. But also too, even with the intentions, I do feel like I've dealt with that as well, where people have made me feel bad for not doing something because it didn't directly benefit them. So for instance, I talked about how, you know, my senior year, I kind of wanted it to be chill. I didn't want to put myself through too much stress or too much anxiety as I had did my previous years of college. And so that required me to say no to a lot of things. And, you know, for me, it's like, I just wanted to be comfortable for once. So anything that would make me uncomfortable, I would opt not to do it. But I feel like a lot of people, they guilt tripped me into doing all of these things. But I didn't feel like it was to benefit me because I wasn't getting any benefit out of it. It was always, well, we want you to do all these things so, you know, you can, you know, so we can do X, Y, and Z. It was always because they wanted to do stuff and not because I wanted to do it. And that was the thing that was like so frustrating and that I was trying to explain to people. It's like, you know, I get, you know, I need to get out my comfort zone more and stuff like that. But for me, it's like, for me, when it comes to pushing me outside of my comfort zone, it should be for things that I want to do and I want to accomplish. Like, for example, right, let's just say that I wanted to skydive. I don't, by the way. I never do. But let's just say I wanted to skydive, but I was too scared because of X, Y, and Z. That would make sense to push me outside of my comfort zone then, because it's like I have a goal in mind. And the only thing that's stopping me from reaching that goal is me and my mindset. And so I can understand someone being like, well, you know what? This is on your bucket list. You want to do this. And I don't want to allow your fears to stop you from doing things you want to do. Great. Completely understand that. However, when it comes to, like, I don't know, going to a party, right? I don't have a desire to go to a party. And it's not even so much that I'm scared to go to a party. I just don't want to. It's a very uncomfortable environment. But people will often use the whole comfort zone thing to try to get me to do it. Not because I want to do it and not because I would get some benefit out of it, but it's because they just want me to go to a party with them and so we can do what they want to do. And so it's like I'm sitting there miserable the whole time because it's like I didn't want to be here. I'm not getting anything out of it. Like, what does this have to do with my comfort zone? And I did feel like a lot of the times people would use that whole thing of, like, you know, the comfort zone thing to make me do things that they wanted to do. And it's like, can I get some benefit? Can I get some benefit from these things that make me uncomfortable and make me anxious? Like, can it at least be stuff I want to do? So yeah, anyway.
You know, for how I speak to people too, how I tell people the truth. I have a younger brother, and I always have to tell myself, you can't talk to him like that. Just because he's your little brother, you feel like he's younger than you. You can't just, you know, little boy him just because he's your little brother. The same way that you would give respect to the lady at your job who you know not to try is the same way that you should give respect to your little brother who you feel like even if I try him, he not going to do nothing. I feel like it should be just respect across the board. A lot of times we be wrong for how we told the truth. It's not that you have to sugarcoat it. It's just that, like I said, the same way that you would tell the truth to the person who you know not to try, maybe somebody that you admire, somebody that you look up to, somebody who has more than you, is the same way that you should tell the truth to everybody, whether they're your younger brother, whether they're a bum on the street, you shouldn't be a respecter of person. You should just carry respect altogether.
That's the other thing too. It's like people will pick and choose who they'll talk a certain way to, and like she said, respect should just be across the board. It shouldn't be because it's me. And that's the other thing too, and that's why I'm really trying to be more firm in how I deal with people, because I do feel like I've gotten taken advantage of a lot in the past because I'm very forgiving and I used to put up with a lot, and people, you know, I allowed that. I allowed them to talk to me any kind of way. I allowed people to, you know, make me feel, you know, bad about myself. I allowed people to have control over me and my, well, I don't want to say control over my emotions because I hate when people say that. But I allow people to disrespect me. And I'm not, you know, allowing that anymore. And I feel like I have finally started to weed out a lot of those people in my life. Even though some of those people, anyway, that's another thing. But yeah, so anyway, but yeah, I totally am with her on this. Like I said, there is a way to convey your truth or convey how you feel about someone or what someone is doing without being mean about it, without trying to put them down, and without trying to gaslight them. And you know, it's all about intention. Like she said, is your intention really to help them, or is your intention to hurt them and embarrass them? Because like I said, if you really are trying to get your point across to somebody and you really feel some type of way about something that they're doing, saying, whatever, and you know that it's not something that they want to hear, in my opinion, you want to say it in a way and say it in an environment that they can best receive what you are saying. Trying to put somebody down or trying to be as harsh as possible, you know they're not going to listen to you, and you know you're not going to get your point across. So what's the point of even trying to convey that in that way, unless you're purposely trying to knock them down? But yeah, let me know what you guys thoughts are in the comments down below, and if you guys enjoyed this video, make sure you guys go ahead and give it a big thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel and hit the bell so you guys know when I drop new videos, and I will see you guys in the next video.